Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Pokemon Blaze Black 2. Last time, we made our way up here to Route 20 again after finally defeating Roxanne. Man oh man, was that rough. But anyway, now, in this episode, we are going to be heading onwards to Virbank City. Hey, that gleaming thing there is the basic badge. But don't get a swelled head. It's a rough world out there. Here, I'll show you. Oh wait, we actually have to fight this guy, okay. Forgot that was a thing. So I'm actually recording this episode in the month of September, so even though it is still visually winter in our game, once we leave an area and then come back outside, we should get a transition into spring, and Mareep is not the Pokemon to have out at the moment. I'm noticing that Riolu is only one level away from getting Force Palm. Took it long enough, but it'll be really nice to have it. I also noticed when I was doing the end slates for the last few videos that we didn't catch very many Pokemon last week. So I'm thinking we're probably going to try and slow down a little bit this week just so we can catch a lot of Pokemon, because I've been messing around with Pokemon Bank in Generation 6 trying to accrue a living Pokedex just so I can plunk it into future games and get the shiny charm immediately. And I'm realizing that 649 is a lot of Pokemon. And I really don't want to get behind on this. If I get my note right here, I think we have 27 so far, which is pretty good. But if we keep up that pace, it's gonna be like 300 videos before we even get to 649, which is not the best thing in the world. Alright, we've got a Riolu coming out. I think we'll do Riolu versus Riolu, because ours is much higher leveled, I would expect. I hope it is, because otherwise we might have a bit of a problem. Alright, that's not too bad. I'm gonna try Counter. Oh wow, it's actually using Endure, so see, that's the problem I have with Counter. If you don't get hit by a physical move, it's basically just a waste of a turn. Alright, here we go. Does a decent amount of damage. And Counter does a decent amount as well, I guess. I'm just going to use Quick Attack, I think. Quick Attack's a lot more reliable, especially if Riolu's attacks, the opponent Riolu rather, is giving us such weak attacks. It would take it forever for Counter to actually take it out. Alright. And Riolu gets level 15, finally. And we are trying to learn Force Palm. We definitely want to learn this. I am going to get rid of Feint because, honestly, it's incredibly weak. And honestly, even if the opponent's using Protect or Detect, it's incredibly weak, so I really don't think it's worth having. It's just not a very good move, even though it has that Break, Protect, or Detect effect to it. I just think it's pretty worthless. Also going to be switching out into Snivy here because, spoiler alert, Snivy is actually very close to evolving. Maybe we might be able to see that before the end of the episode. That would be pretty sweet if we could, although I'm not sure if we're going to see it this battle. We probably won't. Taking down that Wooper. Yeah, one more fight like that, and I think we're going to be in for an evolution on Snivy, which is super duper exciting. Alrighty. Alright, I'm beat. With dependable Pokemon like that, even a kid like you can hold your own against an adult. Yep. And he just moves out of the way. So we can head right on down here, and I think we got some more trainers to fight, which is awesome. So we're going to be doing that. I'm the strongest trainer in Virbank City's preschool. That's one thing I don't get. You see these preschoolers all over the place, but I only remember seeing one preschool ever in this entire series, so not entirely sure what's up with that. I'm inclined to believe that Pokemon World doesn't really have an educational system at all, and I'm just realizing I have a 6th level disadvantage, which probably isn't the greatest. But if Peck's the best it can do against me, I think I'll be alright. Wow, that's it? Yeah, we're not dealing with that. That's gonna take way too darn long. I'm going to switch to Snivy since I'm pretty sure Leaf Tornado is special. We do not want to get poison pointed. That would be very bad. So I started my first week of school this week, so that's why you're going to be seeing episodes that appear to be recorded in weekly sets of 3, because it's more than likely that I won't be able to muster up too much time over the course of the week. It's entirely possible, but not likely. Although with a series like this, it's Pokemon. If I get a chance to record it, I'll probably record it because it's quite fun. Alright, this thing's going to take 3 leaf tornadoes to bring down, which isn't the greatest, but 4 leaf tornadoes because we had a miss there, which is very unfortunate, and we just get hit by a super effective poison attack, which is not good. Alright, and that brings down Nidoran. Very good. Is that going to be our next level? No, it's not, but it'll be close. Mareep learns Thunder Shock, which is very good. Very good starting electric move, not the best, but starting out, it's definitely going to be usable. David, wait! Oh, I forgot they remixed this theme song, I love that. Come with me, you two. See the dark, tall grass here? It's rare, but sometimes 2 Pokemon pop out at the same time. Also, the Pokemon that hide in the dark grass are slightly stronger, so be careful if you walk through. If you're going to challenge the next gym, it's the Verbank gym. You might need a stronger team to get past it. This might help you to catch some more Pokemon. Oh wow! We get the Super Rod immediately. That is a major change from the original game. It used to be in the original Black and White 2. This was exclusive to the post-game. Here's one for you, Hugh. Both of you, do your best. If you need anything, call me on the cross transceiver. Very surprised we got that item that quickly. Chiren sure knows a lot, and he fought those Team Plasma thugs too. I've decided I'm gonna get stronger than him. You should do your best, fill up the Pokedex and have my back. Got it? Alright, it looks like he's just going to be browsing around in the grass here. I kind of want to do the same. Let's see what we can find. Oh, and there's also an item here. It's a Great Ball. Definitely going to be useful in the future. I really want to catch some more Pokemon this episode. Aha, it's a couple of Venipede, a Pokemon that we do not have yet. Now, the thing about wild double battles that Chiren did not explain, and what is up with big on sprite there? It looks like a little bit of a graphical glitch. One thing that Chiren did not explain is that you have to knock out one of the Pokemon in order to be able to catch the other, which is what I'm going to be attempting to do here. Also of note, in multi-battles like this, the upper of the 2 HP bars denotes the farther Pokemon from it. So the upper bar is for the rightmost opponent, and the lower bar is for the leftmost, and the opposite is true for the Pokemon on the ally field. I'm hoping I explained that well. Basically, if you hold up your left hand with your index and middle finger out, and then you rotate it so your fingers are pointing downwards, that's what denotes the opposing team. If you do the same with your right hand, that's what denotes the ally team. Hoping that made sense. But that's how I can usually keep track of it. Alright. I really want something to physically attack Mareep here so we can get a paralysis off on it. If you can't tell, I'm trying to KO the stronger ones, just so if we happen to have a rough time, we have the weaker one left to deal with. But anyway, now we have Venipede here all alone, so we should be set to catch it, which is very good. Wow, that was a lot of experience points. We are going to switch out to Riolu because Riolu has more HP than Snivy does at the moment. Wait, I have Thunder Wave. What the heck am I doing? I don't have to wait for Static. Alright, we're going to Thunder Wave and Quick Attack, and this should do a decent amount. Yeah. How many of those rollouts has it gotten off? Not enough, which is good, because rollout, when used in succession, anyone who's played Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, or Soul Silver will know that it is quite a terrifying combination. I'm going to do this, and that should bring it right down to that sweet spot we wanted. Alright, please don't knock it out. I don't think it will. Alright, that's perfect. We should be right in that sweet spot to catch this Venipede. This will be the first Pokemon we've caught since episode 7, I think? So, definitely going to want to be getting on that Pokemon catching. Wow, seriously? You're a level 11 Venipede in red health and paralyzed. Get over yourself, as I've said. Alright, we can get it this time. 1, 2, 3... Serious? Well, at least this can't possibly be as bad as Regice. I was catching Regice in Omega Ruby earlier today, and that thing took me about an hour to catch. I'm like, seriously, it's only level 40 and you have 1 HP because of False Swipe. But no. One thing also of note that I find incredibly odd is for some reason the Pokemon catching algorithm in Generation 5 does not allow for a Pokeball to shake twice. Trust me, in Black, White, Black 2, or White 2, you will never see a Pokeball shake exactly twice. You'll see it once, twice, 3 times, and caught. There we go. You'll only see it shake once or 3 times. You'll never see it shake twice. Not sure why, but them's the ropes. Using the feelers on its head and tail, it picks up vibrations in the air to determine its prey's location and state. Very interesting. Alright, we're gonna forego the nickname. Alright, we're a little bit weak from that fight, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to fight the remaining trainers on this route, and when we get to Virbank City, we'll be able to heal. Hi there, look at my awesome Pokemon. Let's see how awesome it's actually gonna be. Alright, what are we gonna get? It is a Nidoran female. Perfect counterpart for your friend over there. One amusing thing I find about Nidoran male and Nidoran female is if you notice on its bar there, it doesn't have that red female symbol that my Mareep does. So I suppose super technically speaking, both Nidoran are actually genderless because they aren't denoted with the same gender symbols in the same positions as all other Pokemon. I wonder if sometime in the future they'll actually combine the Pokédex entries together for these things. I doubt they will, because that would cause everyone after that to shift forward one, but it's always an interesting thing to think about. Although I suppose Nidoran male and female are the only Pokemon that specifically evolve into different Pokemon exclusively based on their gender, because Kirlia can evolve into Gardevoir regardless of gender, and so can Snorunt with Glalie, and then there's Combee, who won't evolve at all if it's male, so I guess Nidoran, even to this day, remains a bit of a special case. Alright, can we actually take this thing down, or are we not going to get it? We're not going to get it. Darn it. So close, I was really hoping there, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. I'm going to try and get it with Snivy here, because I'm pretty sure if we knock this Pokemon out with our Snivy, we're going to get a level, which we really want. Come on, yes, we got a KO. Very good. And that should bring us to level 17. And you know what that means, guys. That means that we got an evolution. What? Snivy is evolving. Congratulations, your Snivy evolved into Servine. Very cool. I love the jam and music that they have for evolutions in this game. Super awesome. Alright, I think we are going to switch Snivy out into the front since we happen to have a bit of an issue with our weaker Pokemon out front getting KO'd, so let's just try and avoid that. Ooh, this is something new. This is a phenomenon. If we walk into that shaking bit of grass, a special Pokemon will show up, and in this case, it is Audino, a Pokemon that we do not have yet, and I'm pretty sure the only Pokemon that appears through this method. on this route. Unfortunately, it is only level 5, which means I really expect myself to knock it out if I attempt to attack it with Servine here. So I'm gonna Hail Mary throw a Pokeball at it here, and if that doesn't work, we'll switch to one of our weaker Pokemon and see what we can do. 1. Nah, I didn't think it was gonna work, but I mean, it's worth a shot. Alright, we are going to switch over to Houndour, I think will do. Mainly you gotta do this because if your Pokemon is too strong, instead of weakening it, you're just gonna blast it away in one shot, which is something I really, really want to avoid. So we're gonna try an Ember right here. Hopefully we're not gonna get a burn off on it. Alright, I think we'll be good for one more Ember and then just start chucking more Pokeballs at it, and then I'll actually have to go buy more. Oh wow, I was actually holding a berry. That's not a sure thing, I think, with Audino, so guess we got a little bit unlucky there. Gonna have to buy more Pokeballs because we're quickly running out of them. I can't believe they gave you 30 of these things at the start of the game, and they're already pretty much used up on our end. Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can get Audino this time. 1, 2, 3... Got it. Very good. Gotcha. Audino was caught. Let's add that data to the Pokédex. Using the feelers on its ears, it can tell how someone is feeling or when an egg might hatch. Neat. Unfortunately, that isn't exactly a game mechanic, which is unfortunate. Miracle Seed. Very nice. We're going to have to give that to Snivy because that actually powers up Grass-type moves. And up next is a Sewaddle, a Pokemon that we already have, and it's only level 2. Wow. Like, see what I mean? If we try and tackle this thing, it's pretty much donezo. There it is. So Servine isn't exactly the best Pokemon to use on this route to weaken Pokemon that we want to catch. Alright, I'm gonna sneak up this way, and I think we got another item. Dire Hit. I believe what that does, that increases your critical hit ratio when used, which is pretty interesting. I always give it my best when I'm around kids and Pokemon. I think this is the teacher. Is that correct? Nursery Aide Kimia. That's an interesting name. And with that interesting name is an interesting Pokemon. This is a Dunsparce. Great Pokemon if it weren't for its awful stats. I really want this thing to get a Mega Evolution because otherwise it's pretty much doomed to be useless. Especially since Game Freak is not inclined to introduce evolutions of previous generation of Pokemon, just standard evolutions anymore, which is very unfortunate. Also, Spite is unfortunate. I'm really hoping Dunsparce will get, like, probably a normal/dragon type Mega Evolution. I think that would be really cool. Type combination we haven't seen yet. We really just need the stats to back up its move pool, because its move pool is actually surprisingly decent for what it is. Guess we'll just have to cross our fingers for the next game, which hasn't been announced, but hopefully before too long it will actually get announced, because it's been almost a year since we've been in hype cycle mode, and it's really kind of boring not being in a hype cycle for Pokemon, honestly, although the more Game Freak takes their time, the better their games are going to be. And Riolu gets level 16. Very cool. Alright, so let's get our money from that, and I believe we only have this one pair of trainers left. 2 Pokemon, strong and strong, come together to become very strong. 1 plus 1 isn't 3. But 2 plus 2 is in fact 5, assuming you're shooting for extremely large values of 2. But anyway, got a Sewaddle and a Venipede coming out here. Double trainer battles work pretty much exactly the same as double wild battles, except, you know, they are trainer battles. Alright, what are we gonna do here? I'm actually kind of hurting on my attacks with Servine here. That Spite really did a number on me. Also, this is gonna hurt a lot. Yep, there it goes. Okay, I think we're going to have to bring in... Uh-oh. We are going to have to bring in Houndour here, because it has a fire-type move that we're really gonna want to make use of, because these opponents are not really something you want to run into in a dark alleyway at night. Alright, let's Ember that Sewaddle, and hopefully it'll bring it down quickly here. I don't think these guys have much that'll be super effective on my Houndour here, so hopefully it can stay in. Yes, there we go. Great hit by Houndour there. Got our experience for that. And Venipede actually chose to Screech me last turn and missed, which is really good because Servine can actually stay in on our side with that. So let's see if we can bring down Venipede right here, and indeed we do. That was pretty close actually. A little bit nervous about that. So let's get our experience for that. Houndour almost gets level 10. And I believe that does it for the trainers on this route, at least for now, because there is a part of this route that we cannot access until much later in the game. So let's head right on in here. Do you have anything for me? There's usually a person around here that will give you items. Hello! Oh, you! You are with 6 Pokemon. But if you have more Pokemon, your journey should be even more fun. Here, I'll give you these, so why don't you catch more Pokemon? What? Cherish balls. You know what they say, cheerful company shortens the miles. And I will have you know, those are some valuable Pokeballs. Yes, they are indeed. That is not something I expected to get here. Alright, I'm going to press start to sort these items here because we actually have quite a few of them. These are extremely rare Pokeballs that only, in the main games, you can only get them from event Pokemon. So if you download a Pokemon from Wi-Fi through Nintendo, they will come in a Cherish Ball usually. That is the only way you can get these. As far as I'm aware, they have the exact same catch rate as a Pokeball, but I guess since we have these Cherish Balls, I mean, very, very odd choice of Pokeball here, but since we have them, I guess we're not going to have to go buy Pokeballs anytime soon, which I'm very much appreciative of because they can get quite expensive. But anyway, here we are, and it is now spring. And we have a phone call, of course. Hi, it's your mom. Where are you right now? Wow, Virbank City. There's a complex there, right? Have you been there yet? No, I just got here and you're interrupting me with a phone call. The way it looks at night is really quite nice. And you can also train your Pokemon there. You know, your Pokemon can do some things and you can do others. How you can all work together and accomplish amazing things. Wow, I'm pretty sure I just mispronounced every word in that sentence. Better hang up quickly before I embarrass myself even more. This is Verbank City, city of falling fog and rising stars. Rather dreary looking city, but I like it. Roxy, don't try to stop me. I'm off to Pokestar Studios to live up to my true potential. My dream is to be a ship captain and a movie star. Get real, you're a captain already, aren't you? If that ship doesn't move, you're going to cause lots of trouble. Oh dear daughter. You split your time between your responsibilities as a gym leader and with your band, right? I can do that too. Ah! You dim-witted, dense, dumb, daft, dippy, dorky, doltish doofus! Doing double duty isn't the problem, you're causing problems for people. Keeping people from getting where they're going because of sheer selfishness is unforgivable. I've had it! I'm going to the gym. Sounds like we just walked in on a pretty intense argument between father and daughter. We're gonna have to investigate that next time, I think. David, I've been waiting for you. You're doing terrific. Here's a new medal. And we get the Evolution Hopeful Medal. Aim to receive 50 medals. Good luck. I believe we got that medal for our very first evolution, which is pretty freaking awesome. Really like evolutions, although I'm hoping we won't have to do too terribly many of them. I'm hoping we'll be able to just catch all the Pokemon we need in the wild, because getting evolutions can take an incredibly long time. in certain cases, so I'm really hoping we can avoid that as much as possible. But anyway, I think now that we have made it here to Virbank City and we have caught, I want to say, 4 new Pokemon? 3 or 4, something like that. I think we're going to end things off here. Next time on Pokemon Blaze Black 2, we're probably going to be heading back into Route 20's Double Grass to see if we can find anything new for us to catch. And we'll also be heading south into the Verbank complex to see if we can catch more Pokemon there. So without further ado, I will see you guys next time.